What's up, guys? It's ElasticSpyder here from Brothers in Arms World of Warships, and today I have a Blyskawica review. It's one of my favorite DDs, and I decided that I wanted to make a review on it, and I think it deserves one too. I haven't seen a lot of these on YouTube, so I decided to make one myself for our channel. So, what are we going to go over here today? Well, first of all, if you guys want to see just the gameplay, I'm going to leave a timestamp right now. You guys can click on that, or it'll be down in the description, and then you guys can go check out the gameplay. But to go over, first I'm going to go over the stats, the captain perks, the modules, upgrade path, there's no upgrade path, it's a premium ship, so, but I'm going to go over all the import stuff first. So, what do we have with the Blyskawica? Well, survivability is quite good, 15,000 hit points. Armor, well, it's a destroyer, you should understand that, very minimal armor. So, overall, pretty good survivability. These are the best guns at tier 7. They're actually better than the Kiev in terms of velocity. The Kiev guns only have 870 meters per second HE and AP, so these are definitely the fastest guns in the game, and especially with a 8% base fire chance and 9% when you equip the Witherer flag and the Arsonist flag, it gets up to a nice 9%, sorry. Dispersion's okay at 114 meters for 14.4 kilometers, so you will be landing some good shots, especially with a nice 900 meters per second velocity. And when these guns reload every about 5.9 seconds, 6 seconds, you'll be doing a lot of damage very quickly. And the turret traverse is also not as bad as the Russians at 18 seconds. So, and again, you can shoot out to 14.4 kilometers. Torpedoes are okay, they're a little slow, 57 knots, but they are 8 kilometers, so you do have a little bit of room for some stealth torping, but really these are more of a deterrent slash, you know, just kind of hope you'll hit something. AA defense, it's pretty average, I guess, for tier 7. The Mayhem has better AA, but it is definitely better than the Russian and Japanese counterparts, so it is definitely, you won't shoot any planes down, but I mean, it's nice to have, I guess. So yeah, there's that. There's the AA defense. Maneuverability is quite good. You do 41 knots, that is again with the speed flag. I believe without the speed flag it's about 38.5, so pretty good speed for a destroyer, very comparable to the Russians. Turning circle 610 meters, not as great as the American counterpart, but certainly better than other ships of the same tier. And 4.6 second rudder shift is also quite good. Now concealment 6.8, detectability by sea. If you have the 5-point captain perk, concealment expert, you can shoot at 10.4 kilometers, which is very good without being detected, so definitely recommend that, and 3.5 kilometers detectability by air. So, I mentioned some of the captain perks, so why don't we go over them? So, what would I do? Well, I've got a few builds that I've tried, and I think I like this one the best, but it is certainly subject to change, especially for ranked battles. But in general, this is the build that I went for. I went for basic firing training first, just to get the reload buff, because these are 120mm guns. Then last stand, you need it because you are a destroyer. I chose vigilance because with a 10.4 kilometer stealth firing range, you have a very good buffer zone between when you can shoot and not be detected. So I don't see myself using the smoke, and anyway, 3 smokes, especially if you have superintendent, or if you have premium consumables, sorry, you won't need all of them. So I chose vigilance, especially to spot the torps farther, so I can react to them quicker. You definitely need AFT. This is something that I highly recommend, because without it, I believe the guns shoot to about 12 kilometers, so it's certainly not good enough, and then you reduce your buffer range for stealth firing by about 2 kilometers. So I don't think it's worth not having advanced firing training. And since you do have usable concealment, definitely recommend Concealment Expert. The only thing that beats you out on concealment is the Sims, if he's also got a 5-point captain perk with Concealment Expert, and the Japanese DD, the Hatsuhara. So definitely it is usable. It's a usable perk, so I would recommend it, and it's just good. It's a good idea in general for DD of this quality. Now, for ranked, what I did, I had the same build. I had basic survivability, last stand, vigilance, but I actually went with survivability expert. This was because I needed all the HP I could get, because as you'll see in the commentary, the Blyskawica is a decent knife fighter, but it does excel at range because it has that faster velocity gun. So this is what I chose for ranked. Now, another build that you could do is certainly basic firing training, last stand, vigilance, then get advanced firing training, and then get demolition expert, and then get survivability expert, or the other way around, survivability expert second, then demolition expert third, and then completely skip out on concealment. This would be a very, very deadly ranked build, but the only problem is that you don't have the concealment, which is quite critical to ranked and just gameplay in general. So it is really up to you, but this is the build that I found to be most effective, and with my last point, almost 2 points, I'm probably gonna get expert marksman, and then my final point will go into basics of survivability. So moving on to the modules. Well, the upgrade path is pretty simple. It's a premium ship, so don't need to do anything there. But I use all premium consumables. It is a premium ship. The cost to repair this ship is not a lot, as you'll see from the gameplay. I would definitely run all premium consumables. It's very cheap. Now, upgrades. Definitely main armament. You want to keep your guns alive. You want to keep your torpedoes alive. You just want to buff your turret HP. So, and reduce the chance that they get destroyed. So definitely recommend that. Then I went with aiming systems modification 1 because you are a destroyer. You need all the accuracy you can get. The turret traverse is not worth it for the 5% increase to loading time of your guns. So this will decrease it to about 6 seconds. So it's definitely not worth it for turret traverse. So definitely recommend this. You're not shooting down anything, so don't bother speccing into it. Propulsion, I go with propulsion mod just because I find that to be the most effective. But yeah, you could also go damage control system modification 1. And then finally, I go with steering gears. There's also some popular opinion that propulsion works for if for example you have superintendent and you like to sit in your smoke, so you can get that extra acceleration faster. But as you'll see from the commentary, I don't think it's as useful. I prefer the steering gears just to avoid the torps and just maneuver better. So that's what I went with. So yeah, I'll show you guys my flags that I'm running. I'm running the Zulu, the 20%, the 5% reload. I'm also running the minus 100% detonation, and then of course the all-important Witherer and Arsonist flags. I also have the speed boost and the chance of flooding increased just a bit. You certainly don't need any of these, but yeah, this is what I went with. So I think that just about concludes the import statistics and setup and whatnot, so let's get into the gameplay. Alright, so now the gameplay. So going over matchmaking really quickly, I'm of course in my Blyskawica, and there's a tier 6 carrier, Tier 5 battleships and a lot of Tier 7, Tier 6 cruisers, along with several Tier 7 destroyers. They have 4 gun-based DDs and 1 Japanese DD. So it's going to be quite difficult to take on all of these DDs, but yeah, so we're on the map Estuary. It's standard battle, and since the first few minutes of the game are just getting into position, I'm going to fast forward about 2 minutes until I see my first contact. So skipping forward, here we go. So first thing I see is a lonely Congo. I check to see which way he's going, and then I decide to hold off before I get behind this island, and then I can start shooting. Or, well, the planes spot me, so might as well start shooting. So, yeah, that's a good tactic I like to use. You can see which way the ship is going by switching the torpedoes really quickly and seeing if he's going he's reversing or he's moving forward. Or you can look at the smokestacks, but sometimes the smokestacks are unreliable. So, yeah, that's a good tip that I like to give people that are struggling hitting some shells. So, what do we have at Tier 7? Tier 7 is an interesting spot because you can get matched up against Tier 9s like Iowas and Izumos and Runes and all these nasty ships that can really do some damage. So, but then on the other hand, you can go up against Tier 5s, which we have in this match, and you can really wreck house, as you'll see throughout this gameplay. So I decided to pop my first smoke of the game and start shooting at this Congo, hopefully to get a fire, because as you may have noticed, he put 1 fire out the first salvo of the game from me. So hopefully I can get another one on him and he can start burning real quickly. And here the friendly carrier spots the Ognivoy, but unfortunately for me, he is behind a rock. And there we go, I get 1 fire on him. That's going to be burning for quite a while. And knowing most newer players, he is not running the premium consumable for the damage control party, so he is most likely going to be burning throughout through this whole fire. So this is good for me, rack up some good damage. And of course I'm trying to set another fire because I know his damage control is down, and I don't think I'm gonna get it. RNG is just not going my way right now, so I decided to switch to the Ognivoy. And here's another thing, I pop my smoke and I know just about when to start moving out of my smoke. For the Blyskawica, if you are running the premium smoke, it is about 130 that you should start moving out, or 135. At 130 then the smoke starts to run out and you will certainly be detected. So that's always just a nice thing to know, especially for destroyers, just so you're not caught out in the open, you know, standing completely still. So, and of course I've got a 4.2 kilometer AA range, so I try to help my carrier out just a little bit, but I don't think it's going to do much. And here we go. I landed 2 shells and I did 1200 damage almost. These guns are very deadly. They hit very hard. Here we go again, another 2 hits and then another 1100 damage. So these guns are very good. They hit really hard. They've got decent range at almost 14.5 kilometers. So they are very potent. But this Ognivoy is doing a great job of maneuvering, but even so, I am still landing shells pretty comfortably here. Here we go again, 2 more hits and then another 1100 damage. So this is really the way that I like to play it is I play it more like a Russian destroyer. I certainly like to pick on DDs, because the guns just are so good that you can actually do that. And in the higher tiers, a lot of Russian destroyers go after the DDs specifically because they have the superior guns, they have the superior velocity. So definitely I would recommend, if you do buy this ship, which I do recommend, it's a great ship and you can make a lot of credits, it is certainly a good idea to go after destroyers. Now, you can also go after battleships and cruisers, but destroyers seem to be much more satisfying. But I'm not going to tell you exactly how to live your life. And here I try to tell my Cleveland to slow down, and now I can pop smoke for him, so you can just sit in and just completely just destroy these battleships that are sitting, you know, all within 12 kilometers of him. So, but he elects to not slow down, so I decide, well, if he's not going to slow down, then screw him. I'm going to put myself in a good position so I don't take a lot of damage, but I also can escape rather quickly while still doing a lot of damage. So I naturally keep shooting at this destroyer, even though there's a Pensacola coming on me. And here's the thing, this AP is so deadly. Unfortunately, I didn't get any Citadels here, but you can certainly Citadel Pensacola's and other cruisers of the same tier within probably about 6-7 kilometers. So don't be afraid to shoot AP at broadside cruisers, especially aiming for the Citadels. And even battleships, you can do quite the damage with AP to their superstructures. Okay, so it looks like we have pushed into their cap. They have clearly ran out of ships very quickly. They're only down to about half of their allotted ships. And so here we go again. 2 fires. Now you can start to see the 9% fire chance really kicking in here. It's really doing its job. And of course, switch to the Congo. He is the person of the biggest threat, and I land 2 more fires on Pensacola. But unfortunately for me, he repaired those. So yeah, and here we see that I am currently going to move out of my smoke, because right there, about 119, it runs out. So, but thankfully for me, I am not being focused very hard. So that Congo is burning, and I get the kill. Now the teams are starting to even out. We've lost 4 ships, and they have lost 7 ships. So it's certainly not. We're not out of the water yet. I've got 50,000 damage done. 1 plane shot down. That's going to give me a lot of XP, I'm sure. 8 fires and 1 kill. Hopefully I can get this Pensacola. And here we go. This is why I picked Concealment Expert, because this Pensacola, 10.6 kilometers, 10.5 kilometers, I'm shooting under stealth. He cannot see me, and I'm doing solid damage to him. Almost 3k right there. And these, when you start landing these shells, they really start to hurt, especially with a 9% fire chance. So I predict that this Pensacola is not going to follow that same path, so I just shoot him straight at him. Hopefully he will turn into those, or maybe some destroyer that's not paying attention will run into them. Then the Sims get spotted, and I shoot, and I get detected briefly, but I'm safe behind the rock. Do a nice 2,000 damage to him, and set a fire, make him burn his repair. So the Pensacola actually did turn back into my torpedoes, and they are looking quite good here. So our carrier is kind of out of position. He's very vulnerable right now, but I don't think any of the destroyers can get to him in time. And oh boy, this is gonna look really nice. Right in the bow. Nice torpedo. I get flooding. That Agnevoy is really hurting. But I still have to be careful, because there's a Pensacola there. And of course I get spotted by a plane in the most not opportune times. So try and kill that Agnevoy as much as possible. He's going to be a very big threat to me, because he can certainly hit me the best, as can the Pensacola, but hey, whatever. So now my carrier's in trouble, but I can't really help him too much with the planes. So I decide, well, I'm just gonna sit behind this rock, undetected. I'm not spotted. I'm just gonna shoot at this New York, and he blows his damage control party. and I'm just waiting for the fires to start racking up while his damage control party is active, because it seems like that's the way it always happens with RNG. But luckily for me, it's not. I'm not getting any fires. Well, there we go. And that one did stick. So he's got one fire burning. I'm gonna start racking up some nice, really good damage. That is an unrepairable fire. So hopefully my team can spot him. Looks like some torpedo bombers from my friendly carrier are going after him. And hopefully I can help my carrier and my team kill him just that little bit faster. Now here, you could even switch to armor piercing, since it is a broadside battleship. However, since I know that the New York has blown his damage control party, I decided that HE is the better option. The damage over time will certainly do more damage to him than the salvos of AP, and so yeah, he is certainly going down pretty quickly. 11 kilometers, Pensacola. Hopefully I can get some fires on him. This is looking pretty close. We've managed to kill their carrier. However, our Mutsuki is quite out of position in the J1 quadrant, so he's definitely out of the fight currently. So it's really up to me and our battleship, because our cruiser, I think, just died. So this is going to be close, 4v4. We had the ship advantage, but now we're slowly losing it. And I decided to pop my speed boost. I want to get away from this this New York as quick as possible. I'm trying to I'm trying to outrun his turn and his gun traverse. So I managed to get a fire on him, and luckily for me, I will get him right there. No, the carrier will get him. So I got quite lucky there. The carrier was able to get him, but I still think I would have been able to kill him. So yeah, so that's the New York dead, and there's only 3 ships left. So I popped my last smoke because I am in deep doo-doo right here. Pensacola charging me, and a Sims charging me. This is definitely not ideal, especially when I have about half my HP left, when these ships can definitely do a lot of damage to me. Fortunately for me, the Sims does not have hydro, and the Pensacola does not have radar, so I'm definitely lucky in that respect. I launched one set of torpedoes just as a deterrent, trying to make them turn just a little bit. The Pensacola sets... I set him on fire, and then he puts it out immediately. I managed to get high caliber right there, and I switched to armor piercing, and that's the kill. So now all is left is the Sims. The Sims. I hold off on my torpedoes, and I start moving, because he's definitely launching torpedoes. When an American destroyer is not shooting, he is launching torpedoes. So, but with the power of these guns, I'm landing 3 or 4 shells each salvo, and I easily take him out. I'm sitting at 109,000 damage, almost 110. I've gotten high caliber, 14 fires, 260 shell hits, 3 kills. This is certainly all but over. Now all that is left is the Ognivoy that I landed my single torpedo of the match on. So, this was a great game overall. I love the Blyskawica. I think it's a great credit maker, as you'll see in a little bit. And I didn't even capture any flags, so there's definitely some more room for more XP and more credits to be made if you capture objectives on like domination or bastion mode. So it took me a little bit there to think about it, but you can definitely do a lot of damage and get a lot of credits for the ship, and I managed to get my last salvo off on the Ognivoy, and I managed to kill him. Only 1 away from Kraken, but hey, it's whatever. So this is a great game overall. Almost 600k credits, high caliber, 110,000 damage, 6.5k XP. Certainly a great game. I finished with several missions that I completed, got myself one doubloon. 2.14k base XP and 4 kills, and of course 1 plane shot down. I'm sure that's what helped me top the leaderboard. So this was definitely a great game. Credits, even with running all premium consumables, I still managed to come out with 466,000 credits at tier 4. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I had a lot of fun doing it. I love the Blyskawica, and if you haven't picked it up, definitely pick it up. It's certainly one of the better premium ships that Wargaming offers, so I definitely recommend picking that up, and I hope you guys have a great day.